already been thrown. We have 2 people out of the door. The third should probably be leaving soon, unless maybe Fang might be set up right here for a potential body block. This could be big because the door is open here. There's going to be an open door between them and the actual exit gate themselves. That puts them a little bit closer to the Zarina. The question is, what does Zarina have in their bag to potentially be a... No! Hey, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube. And check it out, here in the month of March, we have seen the Wolfpack bring the Blood Moon League over to Twitch. And while we're currently in group play, that means that while wins are definitely the most important thing, if you happen to take an L, what's more important is getting a whole bunch of those points, because points will work as the tiebreaker to see who's going to be moving out of group play if we happen to have a tie. Kind of like you see like in like group play when it comes to like the World Cup of Soccer, right? This is going to be a best of 1 set. We're going to be seeing the Pyramid Head on the Groaning Storehouse as we pit ? Up against the Nordic Wolves. And it comes down to the wire. We're talking about a matchup that basically comes down to the difference of 1 hook state between the 2 trials. So if you enjoy the video, do me a huge favor, leave a like and a comment. That's going to help us out with that good old YouTube algorithm. And of course, if you can check down there, make sure you're subscribed, turn those notifications on. That way we can catch you right back here for that next video. All right. Till the next time, though, for real, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love harder. All right, y'all. It's your boy Q. Signing out. On the Pyramid Head here on Groaning Storehouse. And of course, with the corrupt intervention, kind of in typical fashion, gives you those 2 far 4 and far 6 gens covered, at least at this point. We are going to see if we can locate some survivors. I think we located, I think that was a foot going around the outside of the tile here. Yeah, that's actually going to be some scratch marks. Here's, ooh, it might even be, is that a second survivor here as well with the Megan?
That is the second one indeed. That is the case here. So that is going to be some information for our killer here. He does get a nice M2 here for the start. Meg is now forced to go back towards this area. Gets a nice distance here that is causing some time between the killer and the survivor. However, the chase is going still on. Chrissy just holding W here around this tile. A very good decision if you ask me, as you just want to take as many seconds as possible, but a very nice prediction and an M2 coming out here. So that is going to be the trade. 1 hook stage for 1 generator.
Yeah, now, the good news is this is going to be a hook that's in the far backside of this corner here, so it's going to require a survivor really pulling away from at least the uncovered gens right now, as we do have about 20 seconds left on that corrupt intervention there. We do see Seth laying a lot of the trail there, which will require survivors to either have to creep with the crouched position, which makes them take a little bit longer to go back for the save, or they'll get inflicted with the torment status. We do hear the generator, though, that's right next to Shaq here, has quite a bit of progress on it. Not going to be surprised to see that thing pop relatively soon. I think because there's so much progress on it, it did make Seth decide to come back and check on the gen, but we do see with the auras, no one close by. It looks like our survivors are really committing to the objective right now.
Survivor's doing a good job so far. It seems like you hand out 1 stage, right, and you get 2 generators here. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see another one, but we can talk about the difficulty the Groaning Storehouse is bringing out for the players, and this is this bottleneck shape or the choke point the killer is able to hold here. So Chrissy is going into the second stage without the survivors able to do anything against it. The only response you can put up is that you're effective on your generators. You need to make some good moves. Potentially the next chase also after Chrissy is maybe eliminated needs to last some time. We can tell by the rancor that there's another survivor working on this generator over here. That is going to be Vara taking the path towards the hook. It will come down to a little bit of a patience mind game here between Vara and the killer. However, the killer for now really doing a wonderful job here in order to keep Vara away from the hook.
Yeah, and this is going to either require a second survivor coming over, which I do think we just saw on the other side of the T-wall. It's the Nia there. We got to make a play here shortly before a survivor gets sacrificed. However, this M2 is going to get 1, 2, 3 survivors all the way around, including the BT hit here, which is big because now maybe you can go for a little bit of a snowball play here, especially if you land the M2 onto the Megan like you do right here. Actually, I like this play though by Seth. You get the, oh no way, with the save with the flashlight.
Wow, this is an incredible play right here. That is also coming a little bit out of nowhere, right? We're talking about Chrissy potentially eliminated from this trial very soon, then you send someone over for this flashlight save. Unfortunately, the chase is not lasting too long. Chrissy is going down, so this is going to be the elimination, but this is not quite the scenario you're looking for as killer when you're forcing the 3v1 situation, because normally you want a little bit more time, and seeing how efficient Nordic Wolves was so far in the trial, he might lose generator number 5 fairly soon here. So it will come down to the question, how close are we towards the end game, and is our killer able to secure some additional stages here?
Yeah, we can see that this generator here at Pride Rock sitting almost at 75%. 3 pistons not quite fully pumping there before we saw the dry kick. We did see 1 survivor reset as far as from the 2 that got hit with the M2. There is still an injured Nia, though, somewhere by themselves. Makes me wonder if they're on the deep gen back here that we weren't actually going back and checking on, and kind of just getting a vibe back here by themselves, which would also make me wonder, I was going to say, where the other healthy survivors. We do see the reset come in here, though, and this is where our survivors have really earned the opportunity to get to play like really slow and precise here. You can kind of take the time pre-leaving gens or pre-leaving when you see heartbeats. We do happen to find the UE, though, here in the middle. There's the M1 now going to be retreating back towards main building, but there's a whole portion of the map that our survivors can retreat to for these resets right now.
Yeah, the resets are going to be crucial, right? That's going to be a difficult decision to make for the survivor side here, because you give the killer some time. On the other hand, you keep it quite safe. So what are you going for? A little bit too much risk can really backfire onto our survivors here. It can also grant the end game with 3 stages. So it will be really, really interesting to see what Nordic Wolves is going to do here. But it seems like the killer kind of accepted that generator number 5 is coming out in the near future, because we see the commitment to the chase with Vara here, trying to get the fresh hook before we are going into the actual end game. And I think given we have the removal of Ruin, we do have Nordic Wolves playing here quite safe with the resets. I think that was a good decision, because now you get another bonus point for your fresh hook. Maybe you can even interrupt these generators, but even if that fails, you can go for another fresh hook in the end game, and that should put yourself in quite nice spot here.
Yeah, I mean, and we're even seeing right now, as you were talking about, generator number 5 does pop off in the distance, but Seth is kind of honestly pretty comfortable in between our doors here with where the hook itself is. You can kind of keep an eye on the 2, maybe put pressure, and also maybe even get a progression here on the current survivor on the hook, while also later getting a fresh hook to be able to secure, even if the Vara ends up getting saved. We do see, though, there's a sound notification over here that's going to be from the No Way Out. 2 stacks of that means 36 seconds here at this point. Combine that with the amount of time that we've already been up on the hook, and Vara pretty much can get camped into the second stage for free here before our survivors can even really start attacking the doors.
It's a very, very difficult spot for our survivors here, because these doors, I actually wonder now if the killer knew that both doors are over here, and that's why he committed to this chase, because he was already preparing for this scenario. In case this was the case, question mark, then I'm pulling my head. This was an absolute incredible play here, setting up yourself in a good spot for the long run. We do see that someone is attacking the exit doors over there. It is going to be difficult for the killer to decide between commitment and potentially the rescue, but keep in mind, everyone here is kind of fresh hook, so you can secure some additional stages. Vara still on hook in second stage so far. This door over there has quite some progress. The hatch, I think, is on shack as well, so Nordic Wolves might come out with a different approach here. This one is done. This was also the obsession, barely escaping. Vara on hook. I feel like Kasi is just opting to go for an escape at this point, that it is going to happen. So we do have have 2 fresh outs here from Team Nordic Wolves, and I think that is a very, very strong result here from the Survivor side in the opening trial.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Nordic Wolves here, not only getting 2 out, but you mentioned the 2 fresh outs, which is huge, especially because one of them would have been able to be put onto the ground there with just a simple M1 and then removed from the trial. All 3 stages would have been added to our killer's total there. So to be able to pull just a little bit of the aggro away from the opposite door to allow that survivor to for sure get out. I mean, then at that point, pretty much an M1 and then 1 miss of an M2 would have also allowed our other survivor to get out. So by splitting the doors, I mean, honestly, really good. We saw our survivors honestly just keep a really even head, even with the early down that was deep back in that corner. Honestly, fought back and did really well to set their killer up for success here in the second trial.
Welcome back, everybody. Trial number 2 between Nordic Wolves and question mark now on the Survivor side with 14 points. Nordic Wolves, or as they decided to play today as FD, we heard in the background that it's meant to be Finnish dogs. So Nordic Wolves, a completely Finnish team here from the Wolfpack community. He is losing the Undying fairly quickly here, so that is going to be one of the hex totems removed. We can see another Rancor coming out as well for a little bit of an extra information there. I have to say, Q, seeing the Ruin Undying is an interesting pick here because that usually comes with a lot of risk. So Chrissy needs definitely some pressure on the active generators here in order to get the most of value out of these 2 perks. For now, I would say Zarina, however, chooses a quite good location to go into a chase here.
Yeah, the only problem as far as where Zarina's currently at, you can see we're currently looping around some of the generators that are currently uncovered up by the corrupt intervention, even rotating more back towards the portion where there's more of those gens. So it's going to be pushing people off of them. While you talked about the Ruin Undying, well, at least the Ruin still being in play here, as we had seen the Undying broken earlier, does mean as we push, say, this survivor here off that gen, it does start regressing at 200%. We are now chasing, though, back in this deep portion of our map here, and this can be a little bit of a time waster, especially if our survivor decides to break out the juice. A nice play here to fake the locker, buys yourself a little bit of time, and that's just more time for your survivors to locate that ruin and then start attacking the gens as well.
And this time is going to be crucial here because so far question mark is doing a phenomenal job in order to keep control over the generators here and not handing out any form of pressure towards the killer. We can tell here Kimi leaving really early, the balanced landing coming into play as well. She's reaching over to this pallet here, unfortunately interrupting a teammate, so that is going to be Hex Ruin now with a lot of value here. But the question is, how long is this chase gonna last? And a stun like this is definitely what you want to see. The M2 not finding its target either. So Kimi here on a very, very good run against Chrissy. The only good news for your killer is that the Ruin is currently taking care about that generator in the distance. Next M2 not coming out. Kimi is shining, Q.
Yeah, Chrissy, just break the pallet. No, yeah, but definitely seeing that Arnia here doing a very good job serving up the juice. And this is big, even though we're by 1 generator that had quite a bit of progress that is now going to be regressing with the Ruin. It is giving our survivors who did complete the other 2 generators to maybe search out, try and get that Ruin done, because with Corrupt now being off the generators, you find the Ruin. That leaves Chrissy here with just 1 perk, right?
And yeah, this is 1 perk, and you get your pressure started, right? You have your first hook stage coming in here. However, it is a little bit difficult, right? Because we have some generators in the distance there. Question mark got some time out of this chase by Kimi, even though they lost this generator over here. I'm fairly certain that generator number 3 is on the way next to the shack there. We already see that someone is lurking around for the safe as well. So question mark is taking some preparation in order to go for the mid-game here. We do see another one rotating away right now, so that means 2 survivors are kind of close towards the hook here, taking care about the unhook of Kimi very soon. That will, however, drop the generator pressure. So I do think, given Ruin is in play, if you have someone lurking around for the save here, you either go for it consequently fairly soon, or you sacrifice Kimi here, at least with a second stage, in order to keep the pressure on the generators.
Yeah, this is going to be tough because we do see at this point now taking chase with the Zarina, going to be able to get the M2 before getting to the pallet space here. There was a second stage forced across the way. By the way, that was a really nice shot to be able to get the down here onto our Zarinas. This will now be a hook state number 3. This is another fresh hook here. We do see a very fast reset across the way, though, which now means our survivors can split up and start attacking the gens. But if you look around, Crizzy has a pretty nice 3-gen set up in this corner right now.
Absolutely, yeah. This is something. This is something that is going to be a challenge for Team Question Mark here, especially with the rune. We talk about the rune for a while now, and that is a signal. Question Mark. You need to get rid out from this hex totem that is currently still in the trial here, because this is one of the games we see quite often. I feel like the Survivor team doing absolutely perfect when we are talking about the decision making, about the chases they do, but a hex ruin that is not detected can kind of flip the game if you have a killer like Chrissy that manages to have a nice hook location and really taking care about what he achieved in the trial, and that is what we see right now. So I think you need to pull back, find this hex totem. We admit it is difficult. All perks to detect totems are banned in the Blood Moon League. No detectives, no counterforce, no small game to detect, no totems potentially, so everything related to that is banned. But this totem is also back there, Q. I just noticed it's on the opposite side of what's currently happening. I'm not too sure if they find it anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe when the generator that was back that way got done, if maybe that got overlooked or what, but it's in a tough position. Now, at least with the survivor off of the hook over here, maybe that can allow a survivor to be free rotating around the map once again, double checking for the totem, because I think you have bought yourself a little bit of time to be able to do that here as the survivors, but you need to make sure you continue to crank out those gens. Let's not forget, only 6 hooks were given out as far as in the last round here. We're already, or the last match, I should say, we're already at 4 of those, and a couple of those being spread across multiple survivors.
This is. I'm trying to figure out what Question Mark is can do here, and it all comes down to this hex rune totem that needs to be eliminated from this trial. But they also find a way to work around this, because this chase was far away enough to pull pressure and be efficient. This is going to be an M2 though. This is going to be the down onto theft. 4 stages so far. You take this hook, of course, because you do need the points. We're talking about 6 stages overall on 2 survivors for the win condition, and this is going to be a hook that really works into your favor here, because that is a fresh hook, and that Q would mean that we are moving up to 7 stages in case this survivor is dying, and that would be in fact the win secured by Chrissy here.
Yeah, this would be big. This is going to put pressure onto our survivors here. Of course, they should understand the situation with the Rancor, so maybe we will be seeing the Zarina and the Fang moving in here. I believe one of them is on death hook, so even the trade right now between them would be worth it, because then at that point it'd be 6 hooks on only 1 elimination, right?
Yeah, this is tough, and also I'm trying to calculate if Seth only goes into second. I think even that would be enough, because Chrissy hooked 3 survivors across the board. So if Seth is going into second stage, 6 stages, there would be a 1-point win for Nordic Wolves here. Now, this is not optimal for Nordic Wolves, because the points are also counting in the group stage. If you have the same amount of wins, it comes down to how many points. So you want every single available point, and that might also be the reason why Question Mark is still here, because it doesn't only matter who's winning. That's of course a very important factor, but you want as many points as possible. Are they coming in for the save? That's the question. Someone was around just a second too late here.
No, this is tough. Now we've got the Zarina here as well, trying to go with the flash, the firecracker play. Not going to be able to get it with the Zarina. Zarina's going to be able to move out here. We do have Fang moving in, though. That's going to be able to get the save here. I'm wondering if maybe Zarina's trying to set up for maybe a potential hatch play here. Pallet at Shack has already been thrown. We have 2 people out of the door. the third should probably be leaving soon, unless maybe Fang might be set up right here for a potential body block. This could be big because the door is open here. There's going to be an open door between them and the actual exit gate themselves. That puts them a little bit closer to the Zarina. The question is, what does Zarina have in their bag to potentially be a... No! You've got one player down. Now the question is, can you secure the other one here? That would be huge.
That would be insane. What an M2 by Chrissy. He's just going for the final judgment here to make the things very clear and collect the extra points here for his team. But what an M2 was that, getting the down, and on top of that the injury. However, Kimmy is escaping from the trial here with the hatch that is located at the shack. 3-man escape, another very, very strong performance by Question Mark and Nordic Wolves here. It was a very, very close game overall here, leading into a 33-29 in favor for Nordic Wolves. So they take a 4-point win here. But this was one hell of an opener game, Q, and I think we can tell how close the games are that are currently played here in this group stage.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be me, but you will never